My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey folks, welcome back. Today we got a very special treat. We've got an accomplished real estate entrepreneur and fellow podcaster zooming in from beautiful Florida, Aaron Hale. And Aaron has been investing in BRRRRs. He's been doing single family BRRRRs for quite some time. And he's also runs a podcast. And he does this despite the fact that he was injured terribly as a soldier in the war and lost his sight, lost his hearing, and he's doing all of this in spite of that. So Aaron, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Well, thank you for having me on, Dave.
All right, Aaron, give us a little snapshot of what real estate investing looks like for you. It's February 2025. What do you do? What do you focus on? Where are
everything kind of looks really dark to me. A bad joke, but my whole journey is kind of a zigzagging, hopscotching journey. But I'm a former Navy cook turned Army bomb tech, the Hurt Locker guy, and I got injured in 2011. And once I retired from the military, I just, the government, they're full of idiots. So I didn't want my only paycheck to be a government pension, disability check. And that's when I started, looking for ways to, have an income. And of course, I went blind from an IED in 2011. Then I went deaf. Subsequently, after that, 4 years later, meningitis. So I was totally deaf, totally blind. And I did what anybody in my situation would do. I started a fudge company. Yeah, they started an online confection company, chocolates, fudge, all that. And we took that money and we were going to go passive with real estate, but we started with an out-of-state fixer that we were going to fix and hold BRRRR that we were going to buy from an online auction with hard money, which is the exact opposite of passive. And it turned out exactly like you might think it would. Complete disaster. This was 2019, so thank goodness we had the market in our favor, and this was definitely real estate, a university master's course. This was deep end, but it turned out all right. And we got the thing fixed up. We got it rented out. We refinanced out of that, and we started doing it over and over again. And now we're doing Burster or Burr and B or whatever you want to call it. Where instead of fixing it up and renting it long term, we get fixer-uppers and we turn them into short-term rentals. So we go through the whole spectrum from finding these properties that need TLC into making them hospitality worthy.
Very nice. Where are these properties primarily, Aaron?
You would be surprised. We were too, but we went to where I knew every street and the town. I went to my hometown of Akron, Ohio, and of course, honey, before I die, I want to visit Akron, Ohio.
And I want to stay in an expensive Airbnb there.
Yeah, we were surprised because we didn't even set out to do short-term rentals. We were gonna, but my sister's a traveling nurse, so we were gonna try our hand at the midterm rentals. But we had a 4-bed, 2-bath, and we found out that nurses don't like to share bathrooms. So we turned it into a short-term rental, and the thing just took off. And we learned after the fact that this secondary, tertiary city market was perfect because you get year-round transient travelers. For there's universities, there's three major medical centers there. There's the headquarters of all the major rubber, tire companies. So there's all this corporate and university and hospital travel, transit, and it worked out just great.
Awesome, Aaron. Well, that is exciting stuff. I want to ask you some logistical questions, seeing that you are a blind and deaf guy. Question number one I've got and everybody else has got is how the hell are we having this conversation in the first place?
Well, no, I am. Like my eyes totally these are fake, they're prosthetics.
Yeah.
And then my ears are completely turned off. They don't take any input. So the only reason I'm able to communicate with you is with my cochlear implant, which is not like a hearing aid, doesn't amplify sound down the ear canal. It actually takes a digital signal and sends it right to the implant and right to the auditory nerve. So with the two combined, it's kind of like trying to figure out what's going on in the kitchen through the drive-through speaker. But it's
Okay.
way better than the alternative.
Yes, it is. So you mentioned we. So how do you do your real estate deals, especially you're in Florida? Some of your properties are in exotic places like Akron, Ohio. How are you
Well,
doing all of this? Do you have a what kind of a team do you have in place that helps you with
Well,
it?
tell you what, I mean, it's actually no different than any, I would say, savvy business owner or CEO. You get the right people and you get out of the way.
Hmm.
So we right about the same time we were looking for those first deals. David Green's book on long distance real estate investing came out, and
Hmm.
yeah, the core four, right? Your lender, your property manager, your contractor, and your deal finder. And we just tacked on like a handyman and housekeeper, and there are these checks and balances, and you find great people and you put a system in place, which is ever evolving. We're
Hmm.
learning, but you get the system in place and you get the people that know the system better than you do and know their parts better than you do, and you get out of the bottleneck. And for me, I mean, I've got the accessible computers, the Texas speech software, and I'm like, I'm kind of a geek when it comes to the tech stuff. But as as good as I could possibly get with the vocal, like the text to speech, I'm still going to be 10 times slower than anybody with eyeballs when it comes to spreadsheets, which is kind of like playing Minesweeper for me anyway. So
Yeah.
instead, I just hand it over to somebody that loves doing spreadsheets.
Nice.
That's what I do.
Yeah. No, I hear you, my friend. That's the method to my madness as well, is find those folks that are good at the crap that I hate and actually enjoy doing it and focus on what you do best. So, Aaron, I'm sure you've been asked this question a gazillion times, but not by me. So, what is how did you avoid or get out of that quagmire of self-pity that you must have felt, or at least I would have felt after going what you went through? How did you kind of dig yourself out of that and just
You know,
get back on
That's
the
a great
horse? Because,
question. It really is. Because everybody wonders that. Like, how am I not curled up in a fetal position, sucking my thumb somewhere?
yeah,
And it's true. And I did. I went through all the stages of grief, and I'm embarrassed to admit that I did. I went right all through, blew right through them. But I did. But the thing is, even before all of that, I was a bit ADD, ADHD, and I was sitting there feeling sorry for myself, and then I got bored. It's true. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I literally it was one of those things where you say, okay, I got my excuses and this sucks and I'm never gonna be able to do this or that, and it's true. My whole life changed and I really liked my life, but then you got to ask yourself, then what?
yeah,
Like, what next? Okay, yeah, okay. So the terrible situation happened. Then what? What do you do next? And that's what I needed to do something. I mean, the whole fudge company came out of cooking therapy. It was culinary therapy. I was just cooking to do something,
yeah.
and I really overdid it and turned it into a business. And then we started making money. And it was like, what do we do? Let's invest it. And it was like, passively, but I overdid it.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a story.
Do you have a long suffering life partner that's putting up with all this stuff, fun stuff with you, or are you flying solo? How does that side look?
I dragged my wife kicking and screaming into every one of these projects, and then after the fact, uh, a few of them pay off. And in fact, my wife really had no interest in real estate 6 years ago. Uh, and now she's a licensed realtor here in Florida, and we do. She also does some co-hosting here in the Destin, Santa Rosa Beach, seaside area,
Right.
and we have two more units that we just did the burster method here in Florida.
Very, very cool. Aaron, tell me a little bit about your podcast and why you got into podcasting.
Well, uh, part of it is because I love, obviously, with the limited input, I've got a bit of an overdeveloped output. Uh, I also appreciate telling my story. One of the things I heard way back when is that uh, someday your story, the story of your struggle, might be the blueprint for someone else's survival.
Mm.
And I do speaking events all across the country and internationally, and I those are intermittent though. But with a podcast, I can have as many episodes and talk to virtually infinite number of ears. But then I can also invite other people with other great stories. So now I'm hearing these great stories, and I get to ask them more or less face to face, all those pressing questions that I want to, that as a host, you get to ask the questions that
Yeah.
you want to ask instead of just intaking somebody else's podcast, and you get to share that with your audience. So I'm both living a deeper, richer life and networking with some awesome people, and I get to share it with a whole audience that wants to, uh, they want to survive and they want to thrive in their own struggles.
Very good. So, Aaron, as we're kind of wrapping up this interview, it sounds like you are a very active and voracious learner. It sounds like you're very curious. You like to learn new stuff. What do you do? Like, is it audiobook stuff or how do you consume information now?
That's one of the things that I love and drives the whole family crazy is that this cochlear implant is also Bluetooth enabled. So I can literally read my emails. I can listen to podcasts. I can listen to audiobooks right from my pocket. Nobody's the wiser. And I do this while in the shower. I do it while, cooking, for family dinner and all that kind of stuff. So it's funny when, somebody's trying to talk to me and my kids have to come up and tap me on the elbow. I'm like, oh, hold on. And I can switch over. Hey, what's going on? We're back out of the matrix. But it's awesome. I consume a ton of stuff. And I'm also, I'm an ultra endurance runner. I run 100 milers. I was just in 2023, I was the first blind deaf person to complete the Badwater 135 across Death Valley. And that means I spend a lot of time on the treadmill, which means I
Wow.
consume a lot of audiobooks and podcasts.
Did you have a guide that ran alongside you? Who the hell was that poor son of a bitch? That's what.
Yeah. I had a
And did
few
they
other
sign up for
sadistic.
that?
Yeah, I had a whole team of crazies.
Oh, that is awesome. Aaron, if people want to connect with you, if they want to maybe listen to your podcast or find out more about you, what are the best ways for them to do that?
Well, first, you can catch me at the Point of Impact podcast with Aaron Hale, and that's pointofimpactpod.com. And you can find me on all the major social media outlets. And if you're interested, if you got a sweet tooth, eodfudge.com. That's extraordinary delights, eodfudge.com.
And I love your sense of humor about things. Your company name is outofsightventures.com. So yeah, it's been an absolute
Mhm.
pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you, Dave.
yeah, I really appreciate it. All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next episode. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now, at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.